Hello and welcome to another episode of the Current Affairs MCQs. Let's begin by looking at previous day's question. Consider the following statements with reference to the radio waves. 1. Radio waves have the longest wavelengths in the electromagnetic spectrum. 2. Astronomical objects with changing magnetic fields emit radio waves. 3. Due to long wavelengths, radio waves are not used in medical imaging. How many of the above statements is or are correct? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, D. None. The correct answer is option B. Radio waves have the longest wavelengths in the electromagnetic spectrum, ranging from the size of a football to larger than the planet Earth. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Heinrich Hertz proved the existence of radio waves in the late 1880s using a spark gap and induction coil. Astronomical objects with changing magnetic fields such as the Sun, Earth and Jupiter emit radio waves. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Like X-rays, radio waves are also used in medical imaging. Magnetic resonance imaging or MRI uses radio frequency waves in conjunction with powerful magnetic fields to generate detailed images of the internal structures of the body. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Moving on to the first question. Regarding the Vostro account, consider the following statements. 1. It is an account that a correspondent bank holds on behalf of another bank. 2. It enables domestic banks to provide international banking services to clients with global banking needs. C. Its services include executing wire transfers, performing foreign exchange transactions, enabling deposits and withdrawals. 2. It enables domestic banks to provide international banking services to clients with global banking needs. 3. Its services include executing wire transfers, performing foreign exchange transactions, enabling deposits and withdrawals, and expediting international trade. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Nostro and Vostro accounts are held in a foreign denomination. A Vostro account is an account that a corresponding bank holds on behalf of another bank. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Vostro accounts enable domestic banks to provide international banking services to clients with global banking needs. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Vostro account services include executing wire transfers, performing foreign exchange transactions, enabling deposits and withdrawals, and expediting international trade. Hence, statement 3 is correct. A Nostro account is an account held by a bank in another bank. It allows the customers to deposit money in the bank's account in another bank. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 2. Which of the following best describes the term E0FIR? A. The electronic version of 0FIR enabled under Section 173 Clause 1 and 1 Clause 2 of the BNSS, allowing FIR filing online irrespective of jurisdiction. B. An FIR that can only be filed physically at the police station within the jurisdiction of the offense. C. A special FIR that can be filed only for non-cognizable offenses via postal mail. D. An FIR that must be filed after investigation has started, documenting findings digitally. The correct answer is option A. The Union Home Minister has launched the E0FIR initiative as a pilot project in Delhi under the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center or I4C to improve the efficiency of investigating cyber financial frauds, supporting the vision of a cyber-secure Bharat. A 0FIR can be filed at any police station, regardless of the jurisdiction, for a cognizable offense and is transferred to the proper jurisdiction for investigation. E0FIR is the electronic version of 0FIR and is enabled under Section 173 Clause 1 and 1 Clause 2 of the BNSS. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 3. Which of the following entries have been included in UNESCO's Memory of the World or MOW register? 1. Rig Veda. 2. NAM Summit Archives 2023. 3. Natya Shastra. 4. G20 Summit Archives 2023. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 and 4 only. B. 2 and 4 only. C. 1, 2 and 3 only. D. None of the above. The correct answer is option C. UNESCO's MOW program. Launched in 1992, UNESCO's MOW program aims to preserve world heritage in manuscripts, oral traditions, audiovisuals, and archives. Updated biennially, it currently includes 570 entries, with notable Indian entries such as Rig Veda 2005, Abhinav Gupta's works 2023, and NAM Summit Archives 2023. The Bhagavad Gita and Natya Shastra have been added to UNESCO's Memory of the World Register, which preserves documentary heritage of global significance. G20 Summit Archives 2023 is not included in UNESCO's Memory of the World Register. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 4. Which of the following are part of the capital expenditure or CAPEX? 1. Funds spent by the government on acquiring physical assets. 2. Funds spent by the business on maintaining physical technology. 3. Day-to-day operational costs. 4. Loan repayments. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 4. D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is option C. Capital expenditure or CAPEX refers to funds spent by the government or businesses on acquiring, upgrading, or maintaining physical assets such as infrastructure, machinery, or technology. Unlike operating expenses or OPEX, which cover day-to-day operational costs, CAPEX involves substantial long-term investments recorded as assets and depreciated over time. The Indian government allocates CAPEX through its annual union budget with Rs 11.21 lakh crores, 3.1% of GDP earmarked for FY 2025-26. CAPEX, as a counter-cyclical fiscal tool, stabilizes the economy during downturns and supports future revenue through asset creation. CAPEX also aids in reducing public liabilities via loan repayments and encourages private sector investment, making it essential for India's sustained development and infrastructure expansion. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following. 1. Cutting subsidies on food and fuel. 2. Raising the statutory liquidity ratio or SLR. 3. Imposing stock limits on essential commodities. Which of the government actions given above can help reduce inflation in the economy? A. 2 and 3 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A. Inflation is the rise in the general level of prices of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. Cutting subsidies on food and fuel will increase the price of essential goods like LPG, kerosene, fertilizers, etc., leading to cost-push inflation, not reduction. When the statutory liquidity ratio or SLR is raised, banks have to keep more money in government securities, reducing the amount available for lending. This reduces money supply in the economy, which can help control inflation. It is a monetary policy tightening tool. Imposing stock limits on essential commodities will discourage hoarding and speculative storage of essential goods, leading to increased market supply, helping stabilize or reduce prices. It is a direct control measure against food inflation. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 6. Consider the following statements regarding the Cruise Bharat Mission or CBM. 1. It was launched to transform India into a leading cruise tourism destination by 2029. 2. It is led by the Ministry of Tourism and will be implemented in 2 phases. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. Cruise Bharat Mission or CBM was launched in 2024 to transform India into a leading cruise tourism destination by 2029. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It is led by the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways and will be implemented in 3 phases from 2024 to 2029. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The mission includes terminal development, digitalization, decarbonization, and regional alliances of UAE, Maldives, and Singapore. It targets doubling cruise passenger traffic by 2029 from 4.71 lakh in financial year 2023-24. A national cruise infrastructure master plan for 2047 and initiatives like e-visas and e-clearance aim to enhance connectivity and tourism. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 7. Who among the following is considered the compiler of Ashtanga Hridaya, a key text in Ayurveda? A. Charak. B. Sushrut. C. Dhanvantri. D. Vagbhat. The correct answer is D. Vagbhat was a renowned Ayurvedic scholar believed to have lived around 6th century CE. He compiled the classical text Ashtanga Hridaya, which synthesizes the teachings of Charak, internal medicine, and Sushrut, surgery, into a single, concise, and poetic format. Charak, regarded as the father of Indian medicine, lived between the 2nd century BCE and 2nd century CE. He revised the earlier Agnivesh Samhita to compile the Charak Samhita, a foundational text of Ayurveda focused on Kaya Chikitsa or internal medicine. Sushrut, 7th to 6th century BCE, is revered as the father of surgery and father of plastic surgery. He authored the Sushrut Samhita, a seminal text on Shalya Tantra or surgery. Dhanvantri is revered as the deity and divine originator of Ayurveda, believed to be an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 8. The term Kyonjar Kalacham was recently seen in news in the context of A. An indigenous paddy variety, B. A newly discovered medicinal plant in the forests of Kyonjar, C. A rare breed of cattle native to Odisha, D. A traditional folk dance form of the Kyonjar region. The correct answer is option A. A farmer from Odisha has officially registered his indigenous paddy variety, Kyonjar Kalacham, and has sought compensation from the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Authority, PPV and FRA, for the seed's commercialization. The Indian government notified the variety in 2015. The Odisha State Seeds Corporation or OSSC and private companies have significantly contributed to the production and distribution of the variety. The variety has shown resilience to major diseases, pests, and the effects of climate change. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 9. Consider the following statements regarding the Cripps Mission of 1942. 1. The Cripps Mission was constituted by the British government to secure full Indian cooperation and support for their efforts in the World War II. 2. The mission proposed a dominion status for India after the war and the formation of a constituent assembly. 3. The failure of the Cripps Mission led to the launch of Quit India movement, demanding an end to British rule. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option D. The Cripps Mission of March 1942 was a British diplomatic effort led by Sir Stafford Cripps to secure Indian support for the British war effort during World War II and offer a post-war political settlement. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The mission proposed granting India dominion status after the war, the formation of a constituent assembly to draft a constitution, and the option for provinces, especially Muslim majority ones, to opt out of the new constitution. Hence, statement 2 is correct. However, the proposed terms were seen as inadequate by Indian leaders, leading to its rejection by the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League. The failure of the Cripps mission to secure Indian cooperation led to widespread disappointment and anger, eventually prompting the Indian National Congress to launch the Quit India movement in August 1942, demanding an immediate end to the British rule. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 10. With reference to alfalfa seed, consider the following statements. 1. It is used primarily as human food and is not suitable as animal fodder. 2. It is a highly nutritious plant packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. 3. It is a leguminous crop known for its nitrogen-fixing ability. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option B. Alfalfa seed is a genetically modified alfalfa fodder seed. It is widely used as animal feed and is also consumed by humans for its health benefits. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. It is a highly nutritious plant packed with vitamins A, C, K, B and minerals, calcium, magnesium, potassium, plant-based proteins, fiber and antioxidants. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Being a legume, it has the ability to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere into the soil. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Now let's look at a practice question. Which of the following are potential areas of application of quantum gravity gradiometers or QGGs? 1. Mineral and hydrocarbon exploration. 2. Infrastructure monitoring and tunneling detection. 3. Planetary studies and climate change monitoring. 4. Non-invasive archaeological surveys. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 2, 3 and 4 only. C. 1, 2, 3 and 4. D. 1 and 4 only.